to Detroit. Griffin with a double-double and 5 assists in his debut. Pistons beat the Grizzlies 104-102.
All right, CC, it's only one game, but you ready to come on my side of things that the Pistons are going to make the playoffs this year? Sneak in there maybe as a 7 seed?
I really like. I believe Stan Gundy is a very good coach. Their personnel, they got to get better guard play. But also, man, the fans of Detroit, man, they got a good support there. I believe they'll get into the playoffs.
There we go.
I'm with
good
you.
Call,
Got me.
CC. Oh, no.
Thunder Nuggets. Jamal Murray getting the big Kiwi to tip right over there.
Oh, no. Pirate down.
I love that you said earlier it looked like he was going down in slow motion.
Yeah, and watch right here. Watch the Nuggets bench. Watch them. Watch them.
Oh, yeah, watch them.
Oh, they're very excited.
Look hey, grown men acting like kids. That was exciting. We've seen a lot of these, Nick. Hey, Nick, you brought this to my attention. I'm glad. You're making me better.
I appreciate that, Steve.
Same game, Gary Harris Jr. with a buzzer-beating game winner against the Thunder.
CC, my guy Russ plays hard for 48 minutes in this game. He went 53, played hard for 52, 58. Got caught daydreaming on that defense, man. Caught daydreaming at the end there. Russ, hell of a play by Gary Harris.
Hey, Russ, hold that L.
Oh, no. That's what that fan tried to tell him. Russ almost hit him with the 2-piece.
Time for Take Your Pick. Simple enough. Quarterback matchup for the ages. Nick Foles against Tom Brady. Maybe it's a quarterback matchup for Sunday. Who has more passing yards on Sunday, Foles or Brady? CC, we'll start with you. Take your pick.
I'm going to shock the world. I'm going with Nick Foles.
What?
I believe he's going to be able to complete a couple passes down the field. But also, the reason why it's who he's going against. This New England Patriots secondary, they're 30th in the NFL in giving up yardage. So Nick Foles has more yards than Tom Brady.
Wow, that's shocking to me. Tom Brady is my pick. Tom Brady threw for 466 yards in last year's Super Bowl. He threw for, what was it, 328 in the Super Bowl that he played in before that. Also, one interesting penalty note that I expect the Patriots to take better advantage of than the Eagles. In the last 13 years, there have been 0 illegal contact penalties called in the Super Bowl. That is the type of thing Bill Belichick coach teams will know. His secondary will take better advantage of that, holding Nick Foles' receivers down to a lower number. So I like Tom Brady in this one.
All right, moving on to the tight ends. Both led their team in yards and receptions during the regular season. Both made the Pro Bowl, but who has more receiving yards on Sunday, Zach Ertz or Rob Gronkowski? Nick, take your pick.
I'm going with Gronk. He's the most talented football player in this game. He is, now that he's cleared concussion protocol, he's healthy. Also, the New England Patriots have not allowed a single tight end to have even 75 yards receiving in a single game all year. So it's a tough matchup for Zach Ertz, and I think Belichick's going to key on him. I don't think you can hold down Gronk in big games when the Patriots need him to make plays. I like Rob Gronkowski in this game.
Man, I have someone very close to me, not only as far as relationship, but close as far as proximity. They're not going to like what I'm getting ready to say. I believe Gronk gets hurt in this game, doesn't play the whole game. I believe Zach Ertz has more yards than Gronk. That's why I said Brady wouldn't have as much as Nick Foles, because Gronk gets Nick.
Wow. And one thing is to note, guy coming off a concussion, anything close to a concussion, they're going to put him through the full, the testing down in the locker room, the whole thing.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, and then off of, he tells them, if they ask him, where are you? He's going to be like, Minneapolis. He's going to be out of there. Get him in the car. He's out of there.
Breezy.
So what you're saying is that's bad news for our friend Olivia. I got it. All right, I got you.
Yep.
No problem.
Yep.
Moving on to the Patriots offense, going up against the Eagles defense. New England led the NFL with just under 400 yards per game this season, but Philly had the 4th best D, holding opponents to just over 300 yards per game. So who wins this matchup, the Patriots offense or the Eagles defense? CC, take your pick.
I'm taking the Eagles defense. I believe in that rush. I believe in their inability to take their ability to take teams out of their running game, the constant pressure. They've been the most consistent as far as pressuring the quarterbacks with their front four. So I'm going with the Philadelphia defense over New England's offense.
Wow, that's impressive and surprising to me. I am going with the Pats offense. One thing to note about this allegedly outstanding Philadelphia defense, here's why I say allegedly. At home, where they are 9-1 this year, they're giving up less than 13 points per game. At home, they have been amazing. Games not played at the link, they're giving up more points per game than the league average, nearly 24 points per game. So I understand this isn't a road game, but it's not a home game. You don't have that home crowd that CC and I experienced firsthand in the NFC Championship game. So I think that's a big difference maker. I like the Pats offense in this game.
Nick, there's a good point here really quick. Also, the Minnesota fans are going to be in attendance, and they're definitely cheering against the Eagles. So this will feel more like a road game than a neutral site.
Okay, interesting.
On the flip side, guys, Nick Foles is going against the Patriots defense. The Eagles have scored over 28 points per game this year, and New England has tightened up their difference as of late. So who wins the matchup, the Eagles offense or the Patriots defense? Nick, take your pick.
I like the Pats defense. And by the way, this segment's probably giving away my pick for the game. I think that we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, you're not doing well. You got a bunch of tails.
Yeah, exactly right. I think we got to keep in mind that Nick Foles, what he had been against pressure, and I think New England's going to bring some pressure in since he took over from Carson Wentz, was absolutely horrible against pressure on third down against the blitz, except for in the Vikings game where he was amazing in all three of those phases. I don't think he can duplicate that performance. That's why I like the New England defense. I also like the New England corners, where I think is their strength in the secondary of their defense against what I think are okay but not great Philly wide receivers.
I believe Doug Peterson does a great job with the passing attack. Nick, I'm not giving my hand away. I believe the Eagles offense, I believe they do get the ball down the field. I thought you came up with an amazing stat as far as the last 11 Super Bowls, no illegal contact down the field. Yeah. That's a very, very telling stat, but Torrey Smith, 2 weeks rest. He's got the wheels. I don't believe New England has anyone to run with him. And watch Zach Ertz in the middle of the football field. This New England defense has not been good all year. Eagles take advantage of that on Sunday.
Huh?
And finally, what are the most important parts of the game? The coin toss. In the last 8 Super Bowls, the team that's won the toss has won 4 times. The team that has lost the toss has won 4 times. It seems to give them about a 50-50 shot. Nick, just check my math on that. I'm not 1,000%. So how will the coin toss go? Heads or tails? CC, take your pick.
I'm taking tails because all my life I've been a captain since I was 8 years old, football, basketball. I've always been taught, man, pick heads, pick heads. So now I'm on my own TV show. I'm going to go the other way. I'm picking tails in Super Bowl 52.
You see, I've never been embarrassed or ashamed to be your partner until right now. That's the most egregious analysis I've ever heard about the most important part of the game. Let me tell people some things. The Patriots have lost the coin toss 5 times. In those 5 times they've won the Super Bowl. Let me tell you another thing. We were on a 4 consecutive tails streak in this Super Bowl. So you might say, oh, it's due to come up heads. That's not quite how the math works. You can't. It's like the roulette wheel. You can't look at past performance to predict future results. However, I have a source. The source says the commemorative coin this year is disproportionately weighted to the helmet side, 62% to 38%. That means, according to the physics, especially in a cold weather, it's indoors, maybe not quite cold weather, ignore that part of it. That means we are 74% chance it comes up heads. You should have gone with heads, CC. I'm really ashamed you didn't do the research on this. By the way, the NFC's won 18 of the last 20 coin tosses. If you go Pats to lose the toss, to be heads and to win the game, that 3-event parlay pays 6.5 to 1. Jenna, just consider it.
Hey, Nick, let me tell you some research that you get and didn't get. In Minneapolis, it's so cold, your head and your tail, okay? They both go. Okay? Pick either one.
What's up, Jenna? What's wrong?
What?
They asked me a question before the show.
Is that
heads or tails?
Is that true?
I tried to research.
It's heavier on one side, but if you know that, what?
Yes, it's out there.
No.
And I knew he'd have it. That's why I didn't go there with the percentages.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
I'll talk to you offline, as you would say, Jenna.
Okay, clearly. I say it because it's a real thing. Coming up.
Wrap it up.
Look at me, CC. What am I doing?
You got it. You got it, Jenna.
Come back, Chris.
No, stay. We're doing well. Coming up, the Hall of Fame announcement is Saturday, so who's getting in? That's next up. First things first.
Go. Stay. Go. Stay. Go. Go, Jenna. Go, Jenna.
What am I
Go,
missing?
Jenna.